There's something weird going on with the camera. Hold on a second. Weird today, so we're just gonna go this angle. The other camera's having a problem. I don't know what it is. Lord have mercy. How are we today? Everybody good? Everybody great? Good to have you with us today. I know it's kind of funky, so just bear with me today, all right? We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Everybody's great. Everybody's happy. How are we today? All right? I don't like this whole setup. It is not pleasant. Whatever. Good to have you with us today. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise and Rosa. In spite of everything, we're here. God bless you. Good to have you with us today. And we got a lot of stuff to cover today. So just kind of hold on with me. We got rain and... So risers, welcome. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. I'm Nick Stewart. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Milton Post, for hosting. Telephone number to call is 850-771-01049. And give me your phone calls and your comments. Make whatever comments you want. We'll go from there. All right, your forecast. Good morning, Jason. Good to have you with us today. Is the audio off too? It is like a little delay. Sorry, we'll just go with what we got. We'll go with what we got. The other camera tends to freeze up today. I don't know, the other camera's freezing up all of a sudden, so I've rebooted, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. So it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. We'll function. Your forecast today: cloudy periods of rain, thunder possible, high near 56, the chance of rain 100%. Woo-hoo. Tonight, cloudy, occasional rain, mainly this evening, low near 46. Chance of rain 90%. Then tomorrow, little reprieve. Cloudy skies, early becoming partly cloudy to later in the day, and a high near 63. Presently, it's 56 in Milton. It's 60 Gulf Breeze, 58 in Navarre, and 57 in Pensacola. How you doing today? Glad you're here. Yep. Welcome, everybody. All right, so let's light this candle. We got a ton of stuff to cover. So audio is not synchronized. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. Let me see if I can change the other camera back again and see if it'll work. Otherwise, I think it's going to freeze up. Now, there we go. So there's that. So are we good? We'll see. If hopefully I won't. Hopefully it won't freeze up, because every once in a while it just goes and craps out. So we'll see. We'll see. Is the audio synchronized now? I'll give you just a moment to gather your thoughts. So the first thing I want to talk about is Scopolo's in downtown Pensacola is closing for good. That's kind of scary. Gus Silva says that it was a difficult decision to shut down the family business. It's been in Pensacola for 62 years. He says after Hurricane Sally damaged the entire New World property, he couldn't maintain operations without a grand ballroom side of the business. It was a large catering space. So that did him in. COVID did him in. And so it's more, what did I do? Oh, I changed it. I'm sorry. I did change it. Evidently, I didn't update it. So let me see here. Let's do this. Well, no, I had fixed that. I for sure had fixed it. There's something really squirrely with the program today. So just kind of, and I froze up. Mercy. All right. So there's that. Fix that. So let me see. Can you? Is the camera working, or is it just me? But it's freezing up as far as I can tell. With my mouth open. Yeah, I'm not frozen. No, and you're frozen. Okay. All right. So we'll just we'll go back to this. I don't know. It's so funky. It's I don't know what the deal is. So there is a glitch in the system. I'm being tapped. I know. I agree. All right. So we've got it fixed for the moment. We're just gonna go this route. It's kind of weird. I'm just glad I had another camera set up. Just I was playing with stuff, and I can't win for losing. It's Rosa. Well, it should be fixed now. All right, but Scopolo's is closing. Also, the Marina Oyster Barn, one of Pensacola's oldest restaurants, is closing. They're just closing after sustaining damage during Hurricane Sally and from COVID. So this is weird. We are losing. We are losing our great restaurants that have been around Pensacola for eons, and that's kind of frightening. That's kind of frightening. All right, so I want to ask you this: would you be willing to pay a few extra dollars a month for recycling? And look, they're going to start hammering you on this stuff, Santa Rosa. It's weird. Waste Pro is going to start charging $9 a month for recycling. Now, here is the argument that if you pay for it, you won't use the recycling as an extra garbage can. Now, I look at it this way. If I'm paying for it, I'm putting it at whatever the heck I want to put in it. Now, if you give it to me for free, well, yeah, again, you do pay enough. No to recycling if it's extra cost. I don't disagree with that. You do pay enough. So, but my thing is, they're saying, well, if you have to pay $9 a month, then you won't pollute or taint the recycling with, or contaminate the recycling with your regular garbage. Now, look, I look at it this way. If I'm paying for it, I put in whatever the heck I want to put in it. If you want me to recycle, you ain't charging me. I'm not paying for it. Now, if it's free and you see that we're putting contaminated stuff in the recycling, then don't come pick it up. Just say, hey, we're not picking your recycling up anymore. But you're going to charge me $9 a month? I don't know. Cam needs a second can for garbage. Now, listen, here is an idea. Here's an idea. What about charging for an extra garbage can and not charge for recycling? So look, we're going to charge you if you have a lot of garbage, if you have tons of garbage, why not charge $9 for an extra garbage can and still leave the recycling for free? That would be the best. $20 a month for both. Woo. Stephanie says pick up one time a week. I know. I got you. Paying the same as twice a week. Waste Pro is not doing you any favors. Jason says pay $12 a month for trash. There's no recycle. And I get it. I get it. So look, but would you be willing to pay for an extra garbage can? Keep the recycle free. I'll put the milk cartons in there and cardboard and whatever. I will say this. I am not washing my garbage. You want me to recycle? Fine. I'll throw stuff in the recycle bin. But I'm not washing garbage. I'm not going to do it. Waste Pro gave me a brown and a gray can. No recycle, can use both for garbage, and that works. Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. But would you be willing to pay for an extra garbage can and keep the recycle free? That's the question. 850-771-0049. I don't know. Also, now Adams Sanitation charges $6 a month for recycle. However, that was an upfront deal, right? This isn't going like, oh, by the way, we're going to slip this in on you, because that's not That's not how it works. How much money is being made from recycling? Charge the customer, then get monies for, well, they're not getting much for recycling. It's pretty stinky. Yeah, I know. I get you. I get the question. All right, so Adams Sanitation is having a ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. tomorrow for the new facility in Milton. The site near 6319 Warren Road will be the home of Adams Sanitation in Santa Rosa County. The company will be hosting a blood drive with One Blood's Big Red Bus from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Said our recent survey, which polled more than 1,700 active customers in Santa Rosa County, showed a 99.3% approval rating for our service, which we hope will expand as many residents of Santa Rosa County as possible in the coming months. Additionally, we have prepared a presentation for Santa Rosa County Board of County Commissioners that we hope to show them at their next meeting. Unfortunately, we're not certain that we'll be on the next agenda. We think this information is of compelling public interest as people decide whether or not to review their quarterly contract with Waste Pro. I love throwing down the gauntlet. I love it. God bless these people. And yeah, I don't have a problem with them pulling out all the stops. Hit them where it hurts. Hit Waste Pro where it hurts. Put all household garbage in one can. Let staff sort through it at the facility. Create jobs, right? Let's create some jobs. 850-771-0049. I don't like, yeah, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. They're not doing recycle. They've been dumping recycle on the same dump as trash, teaching people to conform in case they ever recycle. Well, in Pensacola a while back, they didn't tell anybody that they were just taking it and dumping it all in the same place. Well, they didn't want people to get out of the habit. Yeah. What else is happening? Escambia and Santa Rosa County saw 4 fatal vehicle crashes between Friday and Sunday during a particularly foggy 3-day period. 2 pedestrians in Escambia County were struck by vehicles Friday and Saturday and died from their injuries. Now, it was at night and they were wearing dark clothes. That's what happens. Don't wear dark clothes and walk on the highway or in the street. Don't do it. Don't do it. The other thing too with cars, don't drive the same speed and drive the same ignorant way you always do when the weather's good. So when the weather's bad, don't drive the same way you do when the weather's good. You adjust, but not people in Northwest Florida. For some reason, if you ask me, and you didn't, but you're here. That is the big drawback in Northwest Florida. It's not hurricanes. It's not weird mayors. The big drawback in Northwest Florida is it's the drivers. They don't pay attention. They don't adjust. They drive like, I mutter to myself as I drive. I do. I'm not, am I frozen again? No, I'm not frozen. Is it frozen? Yeah. $67 a month for water and oyster water. I don't know what that means. All right, 850-771-0049. But I just don't understand it. People drive safely. Governor DeSantis on Monday signed an executive order to expand COVID-19 vaccinations to law enforcement officers, firefighters, and K-12 teachers who are 50 and older. DeSantis told reporters at a press conference earlier in the day that in Tallahassee that he would issue an executive order later in the day to mark an additional expansion of vaccinations that focused since late December on people 65 or older. The order states that effective March 3rd, the vaccines will additionally be offered to the following groups: K-12 school employees 50 and older, K through 12, sorry. Sworn law enforcement officers 50 and older and firefighters 50 and older. On Friday, DeSantis issued an executive order that allows physicians to vaccinate people under 65 who are deemed extremely vulnerable to the disease. Also will allow advanced practice registered nurses and pharmacists to provide shots to people if physicians determine that the recipients are extremely vulnerable. So it was just at hospitals, and now it's more than half of all Florida seniors have now been vaccinated for COVID-19. An important milestone in Florida's Senior First plan to vaccinate its most vulnerable citizens. Florida reached the 50% mark on Friday. The numbers indicate that Florida is in the final stretch of reaching Governor DeSantis' goal of vaccinating every senior who wants to be vaccinated. According to an AP poll released February 10th, 67% of seniors nationwide say they want to be vaccinated, which also leaves 33% that don't. People do not trust the vaccine. They don't trust it. But some seniors have been sufficiently frightened. 850-771-0049. Florida officials are recommending that the state's antiquated unemployment processing system be replaced after review confirmed that what had long been known, a broken system full of glitches that were incapable of handling the unprecedented deluge of jobless claims spawned by the coronavirus. The state's Department of Economic Opportunity is recommending that the current plant system, known as Connect, be discarded and replaced with a more robust and modern system that employs cloud-based technology. Now, they were talking about, they said, modernize the system, which fix it. Which means to me is that they just want to tape it. And you don't want to do that. You want to ditch it and get a new one. Get a new system. It stinks. It stinks. But it was just overwhelmed. They're asking lawmakers for $73 million over the next 2 years to modernize the system. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Stephanie says her dad doesn't want the vaccine, and I get it. I get it. People are afraid of the vaccine. It's got aborted baby stuff in it. It's got metals in it. Unnecessary things in it. Clay County Sheriff's Office is warning of a scam where supposed kidnappers pretend to have family members hostage in order to receive money. Victims will receive a call from what appears to be a family member. Deputies say the person on the line will claim to have someone hostage and demand a ransom. They will say something like, I'm an escaped prisoner and I have your family member at gunpoint, but scripts vary. The caller will request payment through a digital app, and they also demand that the victim does not call law enforcement. It's a scam. The scammers use spoofing apps to fool caller ID into making it appear that the call is from a family member's phone. So they say, hang up and call that family member directly, then call law enforcement. Or ask to speak to your loved one. I need to speak to my loved one and I'll get you the money. Whatever. 850-771-0049. Most of my family members, if they got them, they would let them go after a little while. True. The University of Texas has one of the most historic football programs in the U.S. Many of the school's wealthiest donors are angry with the controversy surrounding the alma mater song, The Eyes of Texas. The eyes of Texas are upon you. It has Confederate origins. The Texas Tribune obtained public records that were established on Monday, and many of the alumni expressed anger at the situation. Some of the donors threatened to no longer contribute their money to the university if the situation isn't fixed. You get them in the pocketbook. Emails were sent to the University of Texas President Jay Hartzell, and they demanded that the school stand up to the cancel culture or else they will no longer receive donations from some of their richest alumni. Many alumni were furious when a photo showed Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger as the only player showing pride in the school's longtime tradition. So when the players and coaches stand for the song, they hold up the hook 'em horns before and after the games. The team had lost in quadruple overtime to Oklahoma in 2020 Red River Shootout. Other photos revealed that other players joined Ehlinger on the field for the song. So it just showed one. It's disgraceful to see the lack of unity in our fiercest competitor. Sam Ehlinger standing nearly alone. Another donor wrote, it's symbolic of the disarray of the football program which you inherited. The critical race theory garbage that's been embraced by the football program in the university is doing massive, irreparable damage to our glorious institution and the country, and it's got to stop. Other alumni and donors also threatened to cancel their season tickets and boycott the games if the song doesn't remain part of the university's tradition. This concerns the university's fundraisers. Alumni are pulling planned gifts, canceling donations, walking away from causes and programs that have been their passion for years, even decades, and turning away in disgust. Last night, one texted me at 1 a.m. When you have a alumni text you at 1 a.m. and they threaten to hold back a 7-figure donation or trying to get that 7-figure donation back, that's an issue. The Alumni Band Charitable Fund Board trustees Kent Costa wrote to a group of administrators, including Hartzell, this is not hyperbole or exaggeration. Real damage is being done every day by the ongoing silence. People are done with the cancel culture. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, there's no problem. And now the song's offensive. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. They finally get it. Money talks. Money does talk. When you have a university and you've got alumni going, I'm pulling 7-figure donation from you, that's an issue. 850-771-0049. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. President Biden appears to have erased Dr. Seuss. How do you erase Dr. Seuss? Sam, I am. Get rid of the CC, Dr. Seuss. Einstein on the left, Dr. Seuss on the right. He eliminated or erased Dr. Seuss from Read Across America Day, the annual celebration of reading in honor of the legendary children's author. His birthday is today. While Biden followed presidential tradition in proclaiming Tuesday Read Across America Day, he bucked his predecessors by leaving out any mention of Dr. Seuss from the proclamation. The White House didn't immediately return a request for comment on why Dr. Seuss was left out of the proclamation, but the snub comes as progressives has sought to cancel Seuss. One of Virginia's biggest school districts reportedly nixed Dr. Seuss from the school's Read Across America Day celebration, citing alleged racial undertones. Alleged racial undertones from the books. Green eggs are racist, could be. Hop on pop. That's a hip hop thing. Jeff, good point. If money talks, why isn't Biden speaking Mandarin? He can barely speak English in his defense. He can't read. So it's Biden. It's Biden. He is not an intelligent man. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yes? Yes? Dr. Seuss is being eliminated. Corey says, can't understand Dr. Seuss. I don't know. Some people get it, some people don't. The World Health Organization, who said Monday that it's unlikely that the coronavirus will no longer be an issue by the end of the year. So it will be an issue by the end of the year. And one official said, despite advances, the virus is very much in control. Dr. Michael Ryan, the head of the WHO's emergency services arm, told a press conference in Geneva that he believes it's unrealistic to think that we're going to finish with this virus by the end of the year. Remember what they all told us? It'll be done by spring. Of course, it was going to be done by fall. Now it's done by spring. Now, 2021, 2022. Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the head of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said Monday that she's concerned about the virus variants and said the recent ground the country has made in combating the disease could be lost. So everything we've gained fighting the virus could be lost because of the strains. So the vaccines, the masks, we're losing ground. We're going to be losing ground. So what are we doing? So what is the purpose? So you continue to wear masks even though we're losing ground. People are wearing masks. People are wearing masks. People are getting vaccinated. Yes. Is it stopping anything? Is it changing? No. They're saying it's going to get worse. So what are we doing? 850-771-0049. You figured out. Yeah, Joe Biden, Houston. Well, it was scary. Yeah. What am I doing here? What? Yeah. Not an intelligent man. He may have been at one point. He's not. He's lost the lead out of his pencil. I'll just say. Twitch apologized after a wave of online outrage from transgender activists and their allies over the term Womxn, W-O-M-X-N. While we originally wanted to use a word that acknowledges the shortcoming of the gender binary language, after hearing directly from you, including members of the LGBTQIA+, hold on. I'm having struggles keeping up. So, number one. So, they did the Latinx, which the Latino community hates, by the way. Now they're using Womxn. And that offends the LGBTQIA, which I don't even know what the rest of those are. LGBTQ, what is IA? What is IA? Yes, Jason, you heard me, Womxn. But what is the IA? What is that? And then they have the plus. Why don't you just put the freaking alphabet up there? Let's do that. You can have the whole daggone alphabet. It doesn't change anything. What in the God's name? We'll be using the spelling women moving forward. So they would rather offend women and not offend this very small minority of transgenders. Transgender activists excoriated Twitch because the term is seen as transphobic, because it excludes the possibility of biological men who identify as women. When you do Womxn, it excludes the possibility of biological men who identify as women. We want to assure you that we have and will continue to work with the LGBTQIA community. We're still learning. Our good intentions don't always equate to positive impact, but we're committed to growing from these experiences, doing better, and ensuring that we're inclusive to all. You know what I would have said? I would have said, get over it. Get over yourself. Holy smokes, people. I am done with this crap. It is crap. I am done with it. I am not coddling people anymore. I am not going to adjust my terminology, or I'm not going to watch myself. I'm not. If I ever did. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about if you're offended. Who cares? No one cares. Put on your big boy panties for you transgenders and suck it up. Butch up just a little bit. Stop being so offended by everything. And then for Twitter or tweet, or who is this? Twitch. Stop trying to cater to them and cater to everybody. Why did you put an X in women anyway? Do you see? This whole thing is jacked up. The whole premise is a mess. Oh my gosh. It is going down the tubes. I can't take it. I can't take it. Scary, man. Stop. You men are not women. You're babies. Stop being a 8-year-old girl. You got me? Stop it. Hi, Daryl. That wasn't at you. That was just a frustrated. Hi, Daryl. Oh, I don't know. According to a Harvard CAPS Harris poll released on Monday, 64% of Americans believes it's a threat to freedom in the United States, cancel culture. While the majority of those in agreement were conservative, the poll showed that nearly half of the Democrats agreed that cancel culture is a threat to freedom. Half of Democrats, 64% of total Americans believe cancel culture is a threat to freedom. The poll was conducted just before this year's CPAC. It was titled America Uncanceled. Their Rep. Jim Jordan gave a speech on the impact of cancel culture that it could have on America's future. They canceled the host of The Bachelor. They canceled the star of The Mandalorian. They're coming after Fox News, Newsmax, One American News. Jordan said, you see, last week they tried to cancel Kermit the Frog, Mr. Potato Head. They backed off Mr. Potato Head. I think he got them, his preferred pronouns was he, his, him. I mean, this is scary. Look at where they want to go now. And it is ridiculous. It is such a Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, cream of wheat, songs, flags. Stop it. TV programs. Man, I'm just absolutely done with it. I'm not canceling anything. The more you try to cancel something, the more I'm going to promote it. I don't care. I do not care about your feelings or about the feelings that of some group that you perceive as offended. Some Hollywood nut judge wants to cancel. Oh yes, oh yeah, because they hosted CPAC. We talked about that yesterday. And CPAC goes, no, sorry, up yours. Land O'Lakes, butter, took the Indian off. Yeah, kept the land, got rid of the Indian, kept the land. That's the way we do. Yeah, we don't accommodate. I'm not accommodating you. I'm done. Hear me now. I am done. You can try to cancel me. Whatever. I don't care. All the stuff we got from the internet. I don't know about that, but now, Elizabeth, there's this big thing about Coke and the "Am I too white?" kind of a thing, right? You've heard about that. That was a group coming in to do some training. They did that. I don't know if Coke did that. And I don't want to get into that mode because I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So because Coke shut them down. When Coke got wind of it, they shut them down. So I don't want to blame Coke for that until I hear more. So I'm just saying. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, let me do this. I want you to see this because this is gonna blow your mind. Yes, that's right. It's a throuple. It's a gay throuple. They live in California. They're telling the story of how they became the first polyamorous family ever named as the legal parents of a child. To show you how jacked up the world is, there's a gay threesome that are raising children, and they call them a throuple. In a new book, Three Dads and a Baby, it's set to be released next week. One of the fathers, Dr. Ian Jenkins, details the reproductive journey he and his parents embarked upon, his partners, in order to become fathers to their daughter, Piper, who's now 3 years old. The throuple now also have a 1-year-old son named Parker. Jenkins explained to the book that though the world may see their family as strange, he and his partners, Jeremy Hodges and Dr. Alan Mayfield, do not believe themselves to be all that unusual. The fact that Piper has 3 parents is not a big deal. I have 3 parents myself, my mother, my father, my stepmother, and no one thinks anything of it. However, your stepmother doesn't live, your previous mother does not live with your father and your stepmother, right? That, my friends, is exactly, this is so damning to these kids. What are they doing? Yep. It is just girl or boy. They have a 3-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy until they decide to say they can be whatever they want. Is this not the freakiest thing? This is the normalization of all this crap. You have got to get an understanding of what is going on. I'm telling you what, this crap should make you angry. And they're writing a book, and everything's great. Everything's gay and wonderful. Hampered by Zoom glitches, obscure nominees, and a total absence of both the fashion red carpet and Ricky Gervais, the 78th annual Golden Globes appears to have headed for a ratings fiasco, with early viewership figures plummeting by more than half from last year's show. NBC's broadcast of the Golden Globes on Sunday averaged a paltry 5.42 million viewers and a 1.2 rating in the coveted advertising demographic ages 18 to 49, down more than 60% each from 14.76 million viewers and a 3.8 rating last year. Now, those figures might rise a little bit, but it's still going to be it is a ratings catastrophe. Nobody wants your garbage, Hollywood. The only reason that anybody watched last year was Gervais. The only reason that anybody watched the Golden Globes last year was they loved to see Hollywood get roasted by Ricky Gervais. And Ricky's brutal, and Ricky is absolutely hysterical. But they had Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. Are they funny? Yeah, they're amusing. But all it was Hollywood excoriating the right and Trump. That was it. Jeff says the picture alone was disturbing. And he bets the kid grows up to be a total train wreck. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. That is not going to be a normal child or normal children. Oh. Democrats across the country celebrated New York Governor Andrew Cuomo as the face of governing competence as President Donald Trump stumbled through the response to the exploding pandemic last year. Remember, I want you to recall that during the fall, they were talking about Cuomo being the one who could beat Trump. Now the Democratic governor is struggling through a sexual harassment scandal. Three women, that's a throuple. 3 women are accusing him of sexual harassment. Now, how does the Democratic Party deal with this? They're struggling. Now, there are some that are distancing from him, but they're not calling for him to step down. There are a few, very few. Now, Jen Psaki said the president supports the state attorney general's probe. She noted that Biden requires people to be treated with civility and respect in his administration. The president's view has been consistent and clear, Psaki said about Cuomo. Every woman coming forward should be treated with dignity and respect. Remember, don't you remember, they should be believed. That's what they said. They should be believed. Now, what about the woman that Biden fondled? What about her? What about her? I don't know. The Democrats across the country are not rallying behind Cuomo. Few are calling for him to step down. Kathleen Rice is the only Democrat from New York's congressional delegation to explicitly call for Cuomo's resignation. He needs to go. Cuomo is creepy. I hate to hear him talk. I hate to hear him talk. Good morning, Gail. I'm glad you're here. All CGI crap on the show this year from Golden Globes. And no Ricky. The only reason to tune in was Ricky. The Dem Party, same as always, rules for thee, but not for me. Yep. You are not wrong about that. Republican lawmakers in Georgia muscled legislation through the state house on Monday that would roll back voting access over the objection of Democrats and civil rights groups gathered at the Capitol to protest. It is not trying to roll back voting access. It's trying to bring some integrity to the system. The bill comes after a record turnout led the Democrat wins in Georgia's. I hate the way these stories are phrased. It wasn't record turnout in Georgia. It was fraud. They circumvented the legislature with mail-in voting and this get out the vote thing that Warnock is being investigated for. House Bill 531 passed the lower legislative chamber by a vote of 97 to 72 and now goes to the state Senate for more debate. The far-reaching bill would require a photo ID. Oh my God, no, not that. I have to show ID at Lowe's to buy spray paint. Look at me. Do I look 18? I do not. Do I look younger than 18? I do not. You have to show voter ID for absentee voting. Limit the amount of time voters have to request an absentee ballot. Restrict where ballot drop boxes could be located and when they could be accessed, and limit early voting hours on weekends, among many other changes. You're a racist. Because you want these things, you want integrity in the voting, you're a racist. Okay. Joe Manchin, where's his picture at? Thanks, Corey. Corey said she'd ID me for paint just because I look sketchy. I look sketchy. Joe Manchin, who I'll hold off that. I'll hold off on that for just a moment. I'll come back to that. Manchin, who considers the second most powerful politician in the U.S., responded emphatically on Monday when asked if he would ever waver in his support of the procedural tool known as the filibuster. Never, he told Fox News. Jesus Christ, what don't you understand about never? Earlier this year, Manchin told the Washington Post, I will not vote to bust the filibuster under any condition on anything that you can think of. Kristen Sinema from Arizona said that she is not open to changing her mind on the filibuster either. Now, Manchin, being the second most powerful politician in the U.S., is exactly what he wants. Manchin's not about doing the right thing. Now, is he doing the right thing in this case? Yes. Is it about him doing the right thing in this instance? Or in every instance? No. It's about having power. It's about, I've got the power, so people look at me. That's it. That's it. 850-771-0049. Oh my, okay, there we go. Gosh, crazy stuff today. What else? Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Now listen, you have got to understand this. You pay attention to this. Oh. Her health department director is going to receive a $155,506 payout after his sudden resignation in January. His departure still hasn't been explained. Former Michigan State Health Department Director Robert Gordon also signed a confidentiality agreement in the interest of protecting deliberations among government officials, according to the deal obtained via open records request. In response to any inquiries from prospective employers, employer will state that the employee voluntarily resigned. The source close to the Republican leadership in the state told Fox News an investigation could be announced as early as tomorrow. Dennis Muchmore, former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder's ex-aide, told Detroit News he could not remember a separation from that administration that had cash involved. Now, he did say when people left, they got, if they had like vacation pay coming or whatever, they got that, but never $155,506. That is unheard of. Why did he leave, and why is he getting paid? That is the question. Here, I want you to understand this. You've got Cuomo, you've got Newsom, you've got Whitmer. Three Democratic governors who are very, very controversial. And they're all at risk of losing their job. Interesting. I find it very interesting. West Virginia will be getting a plethora of new bridges, highways. Yeah. Yep. But this chick, crooked. She is crooked. 850-771-0049. What else? 8 years after carving the heart out of a landmark voting rights law, the Supreme Court is looking at putting new limits on efforts to combat racial discrimination in voting. The justices are taking up a case about an Arizona restrictions on ballot collection and other policy that penalizes voters who cast ballots in the wrong precinct. The High Court's consideration comes as Republican officials in the state and around the country have proposed more than 150 measures following last year's election chaos to restrict voting access that civil rights groups say would disproportionately affect Black and Hispanic voters. By making them vote in their district, by limiting who collects the mail-in ballots, you are limiting Black and Hispanic voters. It would take one of the big tools, in fact, the main tool we have left now, to protect voters against racial discrimination. Explain to me how that does that. They cannot. Oh my. How weird is that? Let me get this. Okay, you got to see this. This is, I'm going to pull this off here so you can see. This crap makes my head hurt. It makes my head hurt. All right. So this is, whoops, got the wrong one. This is former CIA Director John Brennan lamenting his whiteness. John Brennan is lamenting his whiteness, suggesting that other men of his race were acting in embarrassing ways. Check this out.
Started with Katie Benner's great new reporting about the investigation into police officer. It renders, at best hypocritical, at worst cynical and false, any notion that the Republicans care about the lives and the safety of law enforcement.
Okay, so this is crazy that the Republicans care about the life of law enforcement. You know that they don't. They hate law enforcement and they want to see them dead. We continue.
To Claire's point, I'm increasingly embarrassed to be a white male these days. Light of what I see of my other white males saying, but it just shows that with very few exceptions, like Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, there are so few.
The people that we despise, with the exception of Mitt Romney, Adam Kissinger, and Liz Cheney, those pinnacles of whiteness.
In Congress who value truth, honesty, and integrity. And so they'll continue to gaslight the country the way that Donald Trump did. And the fact that this has such security and safety implications for the American public and for the members of Congress, again, as Claire said, it is just a disgusting display of craven politics that really should have no place in the United States in 2021.
Katie.
What a piece of garbage. Put him down like a dog and put him out of our misery. There's no besides those three, there's no Republicans in Congress. They are gaslighting the country. Who's gaslighting who? That's what I want to know. Who gaslights who? Oh my gosh, you knew we talked about gaslighting a few weeks ago. And what gaslighting means. You're crazy. You're the one. We talked about this. Remember? Blah, blah, blah. That's what they do. Holy smokes, John Brennan. White House senior advisor Cedric Richmond said the Biden administration will start acting now to deliver reparations for African Americans in the form of government-funded college tuition and other measures, adding there's no need to wait for Congress to study the prospect of direct payments to Americans based on race. Richmond, a Democrat, former congressman from Louisiana, told Axios on HBO that he believes legislation to create a commission will pass, but we don't want to wait on a study. We have to start breaking down systemic racism and barriers that held people of color back, and especially African Americans. We have to do stuff now. If you start talking about free college tuition to historically black colleges and universities, and you start talking about free community college and Title I and all of those things, I think you're well on your way. Reparations. Really? Lord, people. Goya Foods pro-Trump CEO Robert Unanue took to the CPAC stage Sunday to again align himself with President Trump and his supporters. Ongoing allegations that the 2020 election was stolen through massive voter fraud. Shortly after being introduced, Unanue thanked the crowd, told the audience it was an honor to just be on the same stage as the former president. Do I have something from that? Do I have something from that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just have his picture. I don't even have his picture. I lost him anyway. He told it was an honor just to be on the same stage as President Trump, and calling Trump the real and legitimate president. It's just an honor to be here, but my biggest honor today is going to be that I think we're going to be on the same stage as, in my opinion, the real, legitimate, and still actual president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. There was a roar of applause. Knowing the blowback he would receive for such a statement, Unanue immediately followed that with a dig at the Twitterverse. He said, "Sorry, Twitter, I've already been canceled. You can't do it again." He went on to say that conservatives still have faith that the majority of the people in the United States voted for Trump, and followed that with accusations that the Senate runoff elections in Georgia were not legitimate. I didn't say that. I'm giving you what he said. So Facebook, there you go. You want to know what kind of people the Democrats are? Let me share with you. House Democrats blocked a motion Monday night that would have eliminated a subway tunnel in Silicon Valley, championed by Speaker Nancy Pelosi, to pay for more mental health in the coronavirus bill. 220 House Democrats voted to block Stephanie Rice's motion to block the previous question, which would allow for the consideration of Vice's proposal to strike funding for Pelosi's subway tunnel through Silicon Valley and instead provide $140 million to support mental health, suicide prevention in states where children do not have in-person teaching. So Nancy Pelosi wanted a subway, $140 million subway in Silicon Valley, because Silicon Valley evidently cannot fund their own subway. Right? Exactly. So Vice said, why don't we take that $140 million and put it to the kids' mental health, these kids that are struggling, committing suicide in record numbers, blah, blah, blah. No. Vice said on the floor Monday night, her proposal would particularly help children as they are especially affected by the coronavirus. Here is her little speech, and I'll let you see that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Cole, for your leadership. If we defeat the previous question today, we will call up a resolution that I introduced H.Res. 178, which would instruct the House clerk to modify the text of H.R. 1319, the American Rescue Plan Act, to direct the $140 million from Speaker Pelosi's pork subway project and to instead put those funds towards critical mental health services for our nation's children who have continued to suffer in isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. My resolution would ensure that mental health and suicide prevention services are provided in states where children do not have the option of in-person instruction in school, as isolation has been a major driver of mental health impacts on our nation's kids. Mr. Speaker, children across this nation have been disproportionately affected by the mental health impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. A study by the National Institutes of Health found that social isolation has had a significant impact on America's children. Social isolation during quarantine has caused many to develop feelings of sadness, anxiety, and loneliness. Unfortunately,
And suicide.
A study by the American Academy of Pediatrics found that there has been an increase in suicides among children following the imposition of stay-at-home orders last year.
So, and she's right. She is right. So take the 140 million that is to be the American Rescue Plan to help people affected by COVID. Her suggestion does that. The subway that benefits Silicon Valley does not. All that does is help Nancy Pelosi. That is specifically designed to help Nancy Pelosi. And the Democrats voted against your children. The Democrats want your children to commit suicide. Listen, you may think that's strong, but that's what the Democrats would say about the Republicans. I guarantee it. They want to kill your children. They want your children to commit suicide. They don't care about your children. They hate your children. And they are wanting your children to commit suicide in record numbers, so that Nancy Pelosi can have a train, a subway for Silicon Valley, where they have billions. They could do it themselves. But Nancy Pelosi wants a subway for Silicon Valley and doesn't care about your children at all. And the Democrats follow right along. They don't know. They do want power. They do want power. Do you get what's going on? Do you get the whole picture? Wow. Oh. Man, there's so much. It's been 40 days since President Joe Biden's inauguration, and he's not held a solo press conference yet. By the way, I want to ask you, where is the State of the Union address? Anybody? Oh, we can't have a State of the Union address because Trumpites may storm the Capitol. And everybody's life would be in danger. That's why it's not that Joe Biden can't form a sentence and can't perform for 2 hours to give a speech. It's not that. Oh, no. It's that Trumpites may storm the Capitol with troops all around. That's why they can't have a State of the Union address this year. You better wake up. Wake up. Oh, by the way, watch for gun legislation to come forward in the next week or so. Watch for it. It's coming. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Got a bunch of stuff to do today. Getting ready for the service tomorrow, the funeral service tomorrow for my father. Again, keep us in prayers. We appreciate you. We know you are. And thank you so much. Hey, we appreciate everybody. Stay strong, and we'll see you tomorrow. Share